For a little while I actually thought that I'd made the angle of my grip incorrectly. I thought I'd set it to the wrong angle. I thought I'd leaned it forward too much. So what I thought I'd do is I'd just do a rough check on this. You could just get out some measuring implements, but quick and easy way to do this is just get a little piece of stiff wire. I'm using actually a cut off of welding wire, and I've bent it on the angle that it shows in the picture, and basically if I set that up here and look down on it, you can actually see I've got it near enough right. Pretty spot on really. I'm quite happy with it. I only did it by eye, so yeah, I wasn't going to be overly critical about its angles. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Now, the other thing I've been working on, well, other couple of things I've been working on, are the cover for the front here, and the bipod mounting. Though they're not exactly how it should be in the book, but I'm not going to worry about it. I've just welded a plain steel hinge on the front of here. It cost about 60-70p, something like that, for two hinges. The welding's nothing brilliant. I was just going to tack weld it through the screw holes, but it started to fail, so I've just ran a weld across. I might grind that down if I feel like it. Okay, this is the bipod. This here is a little bit ugly and completely out of place for a World War II bipod really, and you know, the bipod just isn't World War II. I could go making one up, but really I have this sitting there and it just seems a shame not to use it. You can unclip it by squeezing that lever in, and it slides off, leaving this round bar here. See how it works? It's quite a nicely made bipod, and the top swivels around from the bipod, swivels left, right, backwards and forwards, so it's exactly what you want from a bipod really. You can also raise and lower the legs like so. Yeah, quite nice. Much better than the bipod, which was probably used on the original gun, in fact. Yeah, so when you turn it over, gives us that sort of an effect. I've still got to make some sort of catch which will hold the cover down over the box magazine, so I've got to devise that yet. Right, the other thing I've been working on is the butt for the gun. I've made this out of 1.5 2mm sheet steel, and this is actually welded onto the rear end of the unistrut. If I looked in, no, it can't actually see from the rear. Yeah, so you can see I'm trying to roughly copy what the original one looked like to some degree. So somewhere I'll have to try and find a large piece of rubber to set in here. Hopefully I'll be able to make it look okay. Now, the way I'm making this part on the back is I've used a piece of 1-inch thin wall box section, and I've folded one end of it over and I've welded it all the way around. You can see there. The other end of it here is open. Now if you look at the colouring on this this butt here, you can see it's a different colour to the rest of the blued steel. It doesn't say in the write-up, but I suspect that this is actually cast alloy and aluminium cast block. Also the shaft coming down here for the second grip, that seems to be most likely cast as well. So it's an unusual shape, and it looks like they decided to cast it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing it in steel, but I'm actually using a piece of galvanized steel sheet, which is about 1.5mm thick. And what I'm going to do is the parts which are alloy I'm going to paint with an aluminium paint, so that there's a colour difference. It looks like they also did the trigger grip, or at least the mechanism for the trigger, out of alloy as well, because you can see that colour change there. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to leave mine blued or blacked as I have it. As I say, I'm not being that much of a perfectionist about this. That'll be good enough for me. So you can see how I'm putting this together now. So I'll have to cut strips of metal and shape them and weld them between the two sides of this. What I've done is I've got this piece of galvanized steel sheet, and I've marked a long strip down the side which is 1 inch wide, and I've sawn that down with a hacksaw. Just no specific measurement, just took a bit of a guess at it, how long I want it. But I can then just get some tin snips and snip pieces off along its length, and what I then do with that is I can form this sheet using pairs of pliers and by hand, and you can fit it in to the gap, as you can see here. So by bending, following the correct shape as it shows here, you can approximately get the correct shape to it, and then from the inside you can weld it up, as I've done with the welding there. Not particularly neat, but it's all going to be hidden inside the stock. So that gives you an idea how you make these sort of shapes up. It's the same when you're making the trigger housing on a Thompson M1A1, if you see some of my other videos. After a little while and a little bit of work, you can get it to this sort of point. So as you see there, and I've mentioned, you've got a piece of box section in there, 1 inch, and then I've welded all the other pieces around it